Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic and one of life's great treats, because today we are going to do battle with the new puzzle from zetamath called Exclusivity. And I have to tell you, when I first saw this grid, I thought there is no way that this solves, because there's simply not enough information here for this puzzle to have a unique solution. And then I read the rules and I think I now understand what's going on, and it's a beautiful twist on the rules. And basically the idea is all of these constraints are normal. I will go through them when I read the rules properly, but the sort of conceit here is that no type of clue can have a repeated digit on it. So if we take the thermometers, for example, those all have to be different numbers. If you take the arrows, these all have to be different numbers. And it's such a subtle but brilliant idea to just change it up that way. And look, I snipped before I turned on the webcam some comments about this puzzle, and they are eulogistic, completely gorgeous, beautiful. It's, great fun, great, excellent. I mean, this is someone saying it tickled their brain. So I'm looking forward to trying this, and I will read you the rules in a moment or two's time. I don't, in fact, have too much original news to tell you about today, so I will mention that there are now not one but two videos featuring Cracking the Cryptic on the fantastic maths channel Numberphile. There is one where we talk about the fist and fell ring, and there is one where we talk about math guy underscore 12's incredible sudoku difference of squares, which is one of my favourite puzzles of all time. And yeah, so anyway, that is over on Numberphile right now. I'll try and remember to put a link to at least one of those videos on the screen in case anyone is interested. Other news, over on Patreon, we've got our January competition running at the moment. We've had thousands of people having a go at that, so very, very well done to those of you who've made your way through it. There's still plenty of time left until the 20th, which is the closing date, so entries in by then for a chance to win the competition. Also over on Patreon, we have my mammoth solve of roller coaster Nurikabi, and we are going to put another mammoth solve of Totally Normal Cat's Broken Secrets on the channel quite soon. So that's been a Patreon exclusive now for about a month, and so it seems that there is quite a lot of interest in that going out wider. So we are going to put that on the channel too soon. So look out for that. Other news, there was one other thing I was about. Oh, streaming, yes. No, streaming, Mark and I are having a nightmare on that. Firstly, we're failing to agree on a date for streaming, and secondly, we're failing to agree on a game to stream. We both sort of enjoyed The Case of the Golden Idol, which we did towards the end of our stream on Chance of Sonar once we finished that, but we weren't blown away by it, so we've been talking about other games. I had a look at something called the Talus. Is it the Talus Principle? It was the Talus something, and that gave me immediate motion sickness, so we can't do that. I suggested hex cells, which a number of you have suggested to us and recommended, to Mark, and Mark was umming and ahhing and has yet to give me the final decision. So we might do that. If not, well, send in your suggestions. Make sure they're not going to trigger any motion sickness for me. And then I've got some birthdays to do, so let me run through those. Eva, over there in Aalen in Germany. I hope I'm saying the name of the town or city correctly. I don't know Aalen, but Eva has turned a secret age today, so I won't reveal what that is, Eva, but your husband Andreas thought you might like a shout out, so many happy returns. I hope you get chocolate cake. And next I move over to Iowa in the US to say happy birthday to Jim, and I know it's your birthday, Jim, because your girlfriend Kristen wrote to us. And Kristen's email revealed, Jim, that you secretly like to compete with the video to see who can get the puzzle done first. I've no doubt you win quite often. Many happy returns today. Oh, now the last birthday is not really a birthday at all. It's the anniversary of the cat Marnold's rehoming with Paul. So I think Marnold has now been living with Paul for a year, I think before that Marnold was in the Stray Cat Rescue Centre in Bedfordshire. Now I have a picture of Marnold, who is a very handsome cat indeed. Looks quite a wise cat, almost like a totally normal cat, but quite wise. Yeah, so Paul is celebrating today 1 year with Marnold. And Paul, I know you're waiting for other news as well. I wish you all the very best with that. And I don't know whether an anniversary. I don't think cats can have chocolate cake, can they? Probably not. Maybe cat treats. But Paul, you can have chocolate cake, and I hope you're able to have some. Anyway, with all that said and done, let's have a look at the rules to exclusivity and see what the great Zeta has in store for us. These are the rules. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply, so the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. Additionally, no digit may appear more than once on a particular clue type, so that's what we've already explained, sort of. And then there's a whole list of clue types. So it says type 1, digits on a purple line form a set of non-repeating consecutive digits in any order. So imagine this digit here was a 1. Then we would know, because these have to be consecutive, they must be 1, 2, and 3 in some order. The order doesn't matter, but they have to be consecutive and non-repeating, although none of these could repeat anyway. And in fact, there are 8 cells of purple lines, so 8 of the 9 digits, because none of these digits can be repeated, 8 of the 9 digits are going to be used on those purple lines. Type 2, along green lines, adjacent digits must differ by at least 5. So this is normally called German whispers. So if this was a 1, this would be at least a 6. Well, managed to type 7, well done, because it's got to be at least 5 different from 1. So 6, 7, 8 or 9 would be legitimate there. Next, type 3, digits separated by a black dot have a 1 to 2 ratio, meaning one is exactly double the other. It looks like we've got just 2 black dots. So imagine this was a 2. This could be a 4, because 4 is double 2, or it could be a 1, because 2 is double 1. So one of those things must be true if that is a 2. But then if that was a 2, none of those, you couldn't have a 2 down here. So it gets interesting. My scanning's going to be all over the place today, is what I'm thinking at the moment. Now, that's type 3. So type 4, digits along a grey thermometer must increase from the bulb end. So imagine this was a 2, this would have to be higher than 2, it could be 4, that could be 7, 2, 4, 7. I nearly typed 6, and then I realised that there was a given 6 in the grid, which is incredibly kind of zetamath. I hardly ever get given digits anymore, and in fact my brain has learnt to basically siphon out black digits. It doesn't really see them properly. I see blue digits. I mean, some of you would argue that I don't seem to see them, but I do try and see them, and I do believe my brain registers blue digits, but my brain doesn't really even register this as a given digit, as I'm probably about to show you when we try and solve the puzzle. But anyway, this thermometer 247 is completely legitimate because it's increasing from the bulb end towards the tip. Now, if we got more, yeah, one more, type 5, digits along an arrow sum to the digit in that arrow's circle. So if this was 1, 2, 3, 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 6, and that would be a legitimate way of filling this arrow. If we change this to a 4, that could be a 9, because 4 plus 2 plus 3 equals 9. Do have a go at the puzzle. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking, and I'm going to immediately hone in on that low-hanging fruit over there, because, well, if we filled this with the minimum digits of 1, 2, 3, we know this is at least a 6. So that digit there is definitely relatively high. Now, what about then the other thought we could have about that? Because none of those 3 digits can repeat in these 2 digits, we can effectively view these as a sort of quintuple, can't we? I.e., each of these yellow cells have to be unique along their arrow. So the minimum sum of the yellow cells would be the triangular number for 5, which is 15. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. Now, that's interesting, because if these circles have to add up to at least 15, none of them individually can be as low as a 5, because 5 would have to be opposite 10, and 10 isn't a Sudoku digit. So I think that square's got to be at least a 6. But we might be able to do better than that, actually. I'm wondering if this is the digit that we're meant to be focusing on, because we presumably have to have a lot of low digits. I mean, if this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would be at least a 6. That would be 6 or 8. That would be 3 or 4. I don't know. Okay, what's the maximum this... Well, yeah, okay. These two digits, although they don't look like they see each other, they actually have a very close personal relationship. They can't be the same number, because we can't repeat digits along types of clue. So we can't double 9 these digits. Ordinarily we could, but we can't here in this puzzle. So the maximum these could be would be a 9-8 pair, which means the maximum yellow could be is 17. So yellow either adds up to 15, 16 or 17, which I think means it needs to have 1, 2 and 3 within it, because if it didn't, the minimum you could do would be 1, 2, 4, 5 and 6, which is 18. So, I don't know how to pencil mark it, but within the sort of coterie of digits that make up yellow, we will find the digits 1, 2 and 3, and therefore that digit cannot be 1, 2 or 3, because if it was, yellow would be too big. So this digit, which is a black dot digit, and therefore is not 5, 7 or 9, because 5, 7 and 9 are illegal on black dots, they're too naughty to go on them, and that's because, of course, if you put a 5, 7 or 9 on, if you halve 5, 7 or 9, you don't get valid Sudoku digits, and if you double them, you don't get valid Sudoku digits. So no 5, 7s and 9s, no 1, 2 and 3, so that is 4, 6 or 8. Which means this square is either 4, 3, 2, or 8. No, okay, that didn't work, did it? Oh, I quite like that idea. Okay. I don't really know how to pencil mark that yellow has to have 1, 2 and 3 in it. Oh, actually, so we can... Well, okay. So the other thing we could say about yellow is that it doesn't have... I mean, it could never have had an 8 here anyway. The highest digit you can put on 3 cells on an arrow is 6. This could be 6, 1, 2, adding up to 9. But if you put 7 on here, 7, 1, 2 would add up to 10, so that's not possible. But here we could have had an 8, couldn't we? Absent the funny rule, because this could be a 1-8 pair adding up to 9. But now we can't do that, because if we did put a 1-8 pair here, the minimum yellow would be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 8, which adds up to 18, which forces these to both be 9. So there is a very minor restriction within yellow, and there is a sort of... This digit, I have a feeling I'm meant to understand something about row 7, column 9, but I don't. I might highlight that cell though, just to remind me that it sees the whole of the arrow, or the 2 arrows. Okay, let's turn our attention somewhere else then. We've got 8 thermo cells, we've got 8 Renban cells, and we've got 8 whisper cell. 8. Right. Okay, I have a digit for you. I have a digit. Houston, we have a digit. The digit I'm going to place is a beautiful digit actually, but it doesn't get a song, and it derives from some of the secrets I know, or the main secret about green lines. Right, so let's run through the secrets of green lines. Well, let's start off with how you get the digit. So the question we need to ask is, can you put 5 on a green line? And the answer to that is no, because if you do try and put 5 on the green line, the next digit is impossible, because it's got to be 5 different from 5, and if you go up you get to 10 or higher, and if you go down you get to 0 or lower, and they aren't Sudoku digits. So you can't put 5 on a green line. So that means that these green sort of L-shaped tetrominoes because there are 8 cells, they are all the digits except 5. But that cell sees the entirety of this green line and that green line. So imagine we did make that a 1. Well, that's saying you can't put 1 on the green lines at all by Sudoku. But we know you can't put 5 on the green lines at all by Sudoku. So the 8 digits here would have to be selected from 7 different digits, and that will necessitate a repeated digit and break the rules of the puzzle. So I think that has to be 5, which is interesting. Now, what does that mean? Well, is it something to do with, let's have a quick look at those 2 digits there, because those 2 digits do have to find a home within box 1, don't they? And they can't go on the other green line or their own green line. So these 2 digits go in 2 of these 3 squares. But by symmetry, those 2 digits are going to go on in 2 of these 3 squares. That's telling me something. What is that telling me? That's telling me that... Oh, yeah, okay. So that, no, there's a different way of seeing that. Right, so this digit is perhaps easier to see. That digit can't appear on this green line at all by Sudoku, can't appear in these squares at all, yet must appear on a green line somewhere. So that digit is in these 2 squares, this digit is in these 2 squares, and these 2 digits are the other of those 2 squares that is not the blue and whatever we were to make that colour. Let's give that one a colour. Oh no, purple's a terrible choice. Grey's probably not a very good choice. Let's make it orange. So orange is here in one of those 2, blue is here in one of these 2, and these 2 are the other of these that are not orange and blue. Okay, let's continue working our way through the secrets of Whispers lines then. So we've said that there's no 5 on a line, and that means that we can think of any digit along a whisper line as having one of 2 properties. It's either below 5 or it's above 5. It's one of those 2 things. And the interesting thing is that whatever it is, its adjacent partners have to be the opposite. And you can see that because imagine this was 6, 7, 8 and 9. Let's consider this digit now. Can that also be from 6, 7, 8 and 9? Well, clearly not, because no 2 of these can be 5 apart, at least. So actually, once you know what one of these is, you could sort of propagate along the line. There's this alternation in what we call polarity. So that's my second secret. The third secret is that there are 2 digits that are monogamous. They're exclusive. They exhibit exclusivity vis-a-vis German Whispers lines. And those are the digits 4 and 6. So if you think about 4, if this was 4, which actually it can't be, I now realise. If that's 4, yeah, that's interesting actually. Sorry, I should complete my sentences before my brain sort of trips over itself. The reason that's interesting is that 4 is monogamous. It can only have one partner next to it on a green line because the only Sudoku digit that's at least 5 away from 4 is the digit 9. So if we did put 4 here, we'd have to put double 9 here. Now, ordinarily, this would be absolutely fine on a green line because these 2 digits don't see each other via the medium of Sudoku. They're not in the same row, column, or box. But in this puzzle, that doesn't work, does it? Because there are now 2 9s in green, which they're expressly not allowed to be. The same is going to be true of 6. Whoopsie. Imagine that's 6, then that can only be partnered with 1. So what that means is that 6 and 4 are going to be at the ends of these lines. They're going to be in 2 of those 4 positions, which is okay, so that means that 1 and 9 on the green lines are going to be sort of internal to the line, because wherever we put the 4, I mean, imagine that's 4. That's going to have to be next to 9. So 1 and 9 are in 2 of these 4 squares, and 4 and 6 are in 2 of those 4 squares. Right, so I suppose that the natural question then is, can we put 4 and 6 on the same line? That might be, well, annoyingly that might be possible, because 4 and 6 are of different polarity, and therefore the alternation would work, wouldn't it? Let's just try that. Hang on, let me just have a look at that. So if we did 4 and 6 this, in fact, I wonder if this is exactly what we're meant to do. This would be 9, this would be 1. And that means so this one would be 2, 3, 7, 8, which is actually probably fine. And the 4 and the 6 would be wiped off this line. Ah, but that geometry is different here. Gosh, I mean, that's interesting. That becomes very constrained, actually. If this was a 4, 6 line, it wouldn't matter. Oh, well, it couldn't. It would have to be this way round. But what I'm seeing there is 6 now sees the whole of this Renban, and 4 sees the whole of this Renban, and yet this Renban, this little section of three purpleages here, that's got to be 3 consecutive digits that don't now include 4 or 6, so it would have to be 1, 2, 3, and it couldn't be 6, 7, 8, because if it was 6, 7, 8, that square couldn't exist. So this would be 1, 2, 3, but this is all predicated on this being, well, it's all predicated on this being a 4, 6 pair, which is total and utter nonsense. There is no reason to say that has to be a 4, 6 pair. I was just interested in terms of whether you could put 4 and 6 on the same line, and it actually looks like you certainly could there, and it's probably easier to do it here. This one works a little bit differently, because if you did 4 and 6 this line, only this one sees the line, so it doesn't look like it's as powerful as effect. I don't think. Although I can see that can't be 1, 2, 3. This is not an extreme Renban. That's really weird. Okay, so although this one looks like it's under more pressure, because it's sort of the two ends of this look at it, and it's got this to interfere with it. This one, this is really weird. The geometry of this one is more powerful in a way. Let me show you what I mean. This can't be 1, 2, 3, or it can't. Whoopsie! It certainly can't be 0, 8, 9, but it can't be 7, 8, 9 either. Because what? Let's use 7, 8, 9 just to see the problem. If this is 7, 8, 9, we know that within a domino on a green line, we're going to have a digit that's lower than 5 and a digit that's higher than 5. Okay, so which digit do we include there that's higher than 5? And there's only one choice, it's going to have to be 6. But now which digit are we going to include there that has to be higher than 5? Well, there's only one choice, it's got to be 6. So there's a 6 repeating on the green lines, which is not allowed. So that is not extreme. If it was 1, 2, 3, it would work the same way, but with 4 going into those squares. So this Renban is not... Well, no, it's better. It's better because it can't be 6, 7, 8. That's so weird. It can't be 6, 7, 8 either. Because if it's 6, 7, 8, or indeed if it's 2, 3, 4, you get the same problem just with a different digit. Because now this has to have 1 on it, and this has to have 1 on it. Oh, that's so beautiful. It's so weird. I absolutely love that. So in fact, this, not only can it not have an extreme digit on it, it can't have a nearly extreme digit on it. So it can't have 9, but it also can't have 8. It can't have 1. It also can't have 2. So it's from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that means it's got 5 on it. This line has 5 on it, which means there's a 5 in one of those two squares. Which is... oh, that's very underwhelming. It's got 5 on it. It's selected from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one hasn't got 5 on it now because we can't repeat 5 on rem bands. So this one is quite extreme. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh gosh. Oh, that's sick. This is all right. This is absolutely beautiful. Oh, goodness me, this is really clever. Yeah, okay, so now we turn our attention to this one, which hasn't got 5 on it. And that means that it's either selecting itself from low digits, like 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s, and it can be 3 of those, or it's selecting itself from high digits, like 6, 7, 8, and 9. But if it was selecting itself from high digits, so if it was 3 consecutive digits from 6, 7, 8 and 9, that is going to be a quadruple on 6, 7, 8 and 9. And what high digit are we going to put in this domino on the other green line? The answer is no, there isn't one available. So this cannot be high digits and it must be low digits. Now we don't know what low digits it is, but we do know it's from 1, 2, 3 and 4 now. And therefore, because it's consecutive digits, it's got 2 and 3 on it. So we know there's a fourth low digit, which is a 1 or a 4 on here. Well, if it's 4, it can't be there for the reasons we said. Well, many reasons, but that's going to cause double 9. But oh yeah, this is lovely. I think I said this, it may even have been as recently as yesterday, but some of the construction that we're seeing at the moment in Sudoku is so epically good. This is it's so gorgeous. I mean, if your brain is capable of creating these sorts of pyrotechnics in the grid, you are a gifted individual. You really are. Look, the point now is that digit cannot be a low digit anymore. This is going to give us the polarity of this line, because whatever's how can I show that? Let's do an example. If this doesn't have 1 on it, so if it's a 2, 3, 4 sequence, then we know there's a 1 in one of these two squares. But look at this digit now. By Sudoku, it sees the 2, 3, 4, and by green line logic, it can't repeat the 1. So it's not capable of being low anymore. And of course, if this was 1, 2, 3, and we put the 4 here instead, that's exactly the same. It still can't be low. So it's weird. It's weird, but it's beautiful. That means that's 6, 7, 8, or 9. Which means this is 6, 7, 8, or 9. It's definitely not 6, by the way, because 6 is going to be double 1'd. These are both low digits. That's not 4 for the same reason that this can't be 6. This is not 2 or 3 because there's 2 or 3 on the line. So this is 1 or 4, but it could be 4 because it's not in the middle of the line. Ah, but it can't be 1. No. This is, again, it's incredibly good deduction. If this was 1, what digit? Well, if it's 1, where are you putting the 6 on the green line? That's the question. If we put 1 here, where should we put the 6? Because we've got to put 6 on the green line. But wherever we put the 6, it's going to be next to the 1. Or a 1. And in this case, it's going to be a second 1, because there's definitely a 1 there if you put 1 there as well. We worked out at the start that 1 was an internal digit on the line, and 9 is an internal digit, because they are the digits that only get married to 4s and 6s. So this digit is a 4. That is a hard 1 digit. That is a hard 1 epic digit. Right, so that means this is 9. It means this is not 9 now, because 9 can't repeat on the line. This is not a 9. I was about to try and put 1 on this, because that's what I normally do when I get an arrow circle down to 6, 7 or 8, but it's normally a 3-cell arrow. This is a 2-cell arrow, and that's quite a different beast. But hang on, if that's not 9, that can't be as low as 6 anymore, can it? Because we know these have to add up to at least 15. So this one has gone up in value, which is sort of a bit disappointing, actually. Right, now, okay, so now I'm going to turn my attention to this line, because this line here can't repeat a digit that's appeared on the other purple line. So it's got to have 6 on it, I think, which is going to knock 6 out of here. Because this line can't be 3, 4, 5 anymore, because we've already had 3. So it's at least 4, 5, 6. And well, in fact, it's either 4, 5, 6 or it's 5, 6, 7. So it is quite restricted. That's definitely worth noting that down. And it's got 5 and 6 on it. This is not a 6. If that's not a 6... Oh, it's done. Oh, it's beautiful again. It's beautiful again, because now the simple question is, where's 6 on the green lines? And it can't be here anymore. We know we knew it was in one of those 4 squares, and it's no longer here because there's a 6 on this line, so it's there. So that's 6, that's 1. That's not 1. Total shank. That's not 1 anymore. We now know the polarity of this line, so this has got to be a 7 or an 8, I want to say. That's got to be a 2 or a 3. Oh, yeah. This is lovely again. I mean, this is an absolutely virtuosic, is that a word? Oh, I don't know. It probably is. But it is so clever what is going on here, because look now, these are not the same digit. They may look like they could be, but they can't, because they're both on the green line. So one of these is a 7, and it's looking at that line, so that line has not got 7 on it anymore. This is 4, 5, 6, which means that line is now made up of only big digits. That's got to be from 7, 8 and 9, so it's got to have 8 on it. Actually, that's quite good. So it's got to have 8 on it, and that's because any consecutive, if you've got a pair of consecutive numbers, there's always going to be an odd and an even number in them. So we can see that the even number here must be 8, and that's looking here. So we take 8 out of here, but if we take 8 out of here, we've got to take 7 out of here. So this has gone up. This has gone down. Oh no, hang on. That's got a 6 looking at it. That is just a 7. So this is now an 8, 9 pair. I've got an 8, 9 pair in the column. That's knocking 8 out of these squares. So this has come right down now to 4 or 6 here. That can't be 4 anymore. I was looking at that thinking that feels wrong, and it is wrong. This can't be 4, because this can't be... Why couldn't that be 2 though? Oh, it can't be 2 because we worked out there was a 2 in one of those. Yes, okay, that was... See, my green highlighting worked. Okay. But, okay, so these digits, they're either 15 or 16 now. Which means they all... Oh, this is it. That's it. Yeah. Oh, it's lovely. This has got to be a 6. Because... if this is a 15, then the digits on here are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. One of them is a 4. Don't know where that goes, but it's looking at that, and that's stopping that being a 4. If this is 16, given the yellow digits all have to be different, they have to be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 6. Oh, which actually... Oh, sorry, I hadn't spotted that. That totally breaks the world. That totally breaks the world. If this is 9, because these are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 6, that cell simply could not exist in the puzzle. So that is 8. And one of these is a 4, which means that is 6, which means this is 3. Oh, that works. That does work, because these digits have to be adding up to 8 without using 3. So that could be 1, 2 and 5 only. And that can be 3, 4 now. It has to be 3, 4, because I've effectively, by making these 15, I've made that into a quintuple, a triangular number for 5. This is spectacular. It's absolutely spectacular. If that's 8, I can do sudoku. Oh, let's go back to this digit. What have I not used this digit for? Well, yes, I haven't used it. Well, I didn't really think to use it, to be honest, but it's always worth double-checking black digits, Simon. Yes, in fact, it would have been worth it over here. That's got to be a 6 now. 6 is in one of these squares. 6 is not there, because if that was 6, this would be a 6, 3 black dot, and it would mimic its friend over there. What have we got left to put in here? 5 and 8? Can we do that? Don't know. That's a 5, 8 pair, I think. 4, 5, 6, that's not 5. 5 in row 6 now is in one of those squares. I won't tell you how I got to that. It would seem, you would think I was stark raving mad. Alright, I will tell you. It's because I saw these as an X-wing rather than just... Well, no, that's fair enough, really. I mean, but that's how I saw it. Okay, so what are we going to do now? We might have to turn our attention to... no, I don't have to, actually. I can do sudoku. Zeta, this is absolutely outrageous. You've just made me do a bit of sudoku, and now I've got to do more sudoku. Where is 8 in this box? And the answer is I don't know, but it's in one of those two squares. And now, where is 8 in box 1? And by sudoku, it's in one of these 3, but it can't be here because there's an 8 looking at it. So that's 8, which means by weird rules, that's 7. 7 can't go next to 3 because 7 and 3 are only 4 apart, knowledge bomb. So that's got to be next to 2. That's got to be next to 3. So there is a 3 in one of these two squares by sudoku. No 3's in the corner in this puzzle. Outrageous. Might think about that black dot in a moment because I'm noticing it hasn't got 2 on it. In fact, do I just know then? It's just 4, 8, isn't it? Is that wrong? No, that feels right. So what I'm noticing is if this is a 2, this black dot can't be now 1, 2 or 2, 4. And we know it can't be 3, 6. So it is 4, 8 and we've got a 4 here. So that's 4. That's 8. That's 8. That's 5. So that's 5 now within my 1, 2, 5 triple. And pregnant pause while I wait for my brain to tell me something. Brain, tell me something. Naughty brain. Brain got something. Well done, brain. 4. There must be a 4 on my 4, 5, 6 triple, so I can do that now. What does that mean? That means that we can write 8 in here, look, by sudoku. So 8 is at the bottom of this, of column 4, but 8 presumably could go in the tip of a thermo. Well, that's interesting. If 8 doesn't go in the tip of a thermo, then there's no 8 anywhere possible on the thermos. So if this is 8, you've got to fill the thermos with the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 9. And that's going to make that square a 4. believe it or not, because that's the only place 4 can go. This 4 locks this one out, well, stops this thermo having 4 on it. That 4 stops that one having 4 on it. That 4 stops those 2 squares having 4 on it. But that's all very well. Where's 7 in column 9? That's a fair question. It's more Sudoku, but that's a 7, which means I get that digit. That digit's 4. That is going to be interesting, isn't it? I've now think I've got a 3-4 pair at the bottom of column 3, so presumably these squares are 2 and 9. Can we get those? I'm sure they're resolved somehow. Hang on. Let's have a stare at that. 2, 9 pair. What have we not put in? Into... Oh, hang on. Yeah, can we... Yeah, where's... Oh, no, that doesn't work, actually. Maybe rather than me trying to do this by a complicated method, I'm going to note that 3 in the top row can go there, which makes this a 9, which makes this a 2, which makes this a 7. And more Sudoku, 1, 3 and 9 into these squares, that might be resolvable. We can't put 9 in the bulb of a thermo. We can't put 3 here by Sudoku. So if these are 1, 3, 9, what are these? 5 and something. 2. Well, don't know. That seems a perfectly reasonable actual digit. Oh, that makes this a 1. So that's a 1, that's a 2, that's not 2 anymore. And these 2 squares are 7 and 9. Now, what about this one? Yes, yes. No. I don't. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm going to revisit my earlier thought processes. My thought process there, it went, 7's interesting on thermos because you can't put 8 on thermos, can you? And then I was like, oh, but didn't I remember something about 4 when I put the 4 in the corner here? And yes, I did. I got carried away with, of all things, Sudoku. But when we put this 4 here, now that couldn't be a 4 on this thermo. So there's nowhere for 4 on any thermo. So it's not 8 that's missing from the thermometer digits. There are 8 thermometer digits. The digit that's missing is the digit 4. So we have to put 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on the thermos. Where's the 8 on the thermos? It's got to go here. But that now has triggered another thought for me, which is, where does 7 now go on thermos? Because if we look at box 5, 7 is definitely not on the thermo. This 7's knocking it off this thermo. So 7 is on this thermo, which means that's 7, that's 9. There's 7 in one of those 2 squares. Bother. Don't know what that's doing. Probably so. Oh, 3. Where's 3 in box 6? And the answer is I don't know exactly, but it's certainly in those. It's in one of these 2 squares. So these 2 squares are 1 and something. 4. We've got loads of 4s though. That's 4. That's 1. How many 4s have we got? Oh no, not as many as I thought. 4 is in a domino here. And 4 is in a domino here. So we've got a sort of X-wing that's probably not resolved. So the way that we're going to get at this X-wing is using that 3. So that's a 3, that's a 4, that's a 4. 1 and something are there. Can we do that? Can we get the other digit? Well, yes, we can in a way. It's this digit, isn't it, that's going to appear down here. Because it's not in any of these squares. So these are from 1, 2 and 5. Oh, that's not even intelligent, what I've just said. Right, so it's pro 2 here, that's 9. Let's do some Sudoku. 5, 6 and 7 into these squares. Let's put that in. That's not 7, that's not 6. So these must be 1, 2 and 8. That's not 8. bother. Okay. I've got that feeling I'm about to get stuck. It probably is the thermos, which probably I do need to pencil mark, but you know me. I'm not as comfortable jumping down that route as certain other people who appear on this channel might be. Okay. Well, let's have a look. Where should we go first? Should we do the bulb of this one? 2, 3, they seem fine. 5, 6, 7. 7 is impossible. We've had 7 already on the thermo. If this is 6, that has to be not 7 or 8. That would have to be 9. Have I had 9 on the thermos? No. No. In fact, that's a very good question. Where isn't... it's such an obvious question. At the moment we didn't get 4. We knew 4 was off the thermo. We should have said where are 1 and 9 on the thermo, shouldn't we? Because they have to then appear. 9 can only ever appear in the tip of a thermo. And this one, this 8... has sort of usurped the possible position of 9. So that is a 9. Which, oh yeah, no, that's doing things. So that's a 9 now. So 9 is placed here, because 9 definitely can't go in the bulb of the thermo. That's 9. Right, these digits are from 1, 2, 5 and 8, I think. And don't we know that there's a 1 in there. So this is 2, 5 and 8. Bother. How has that affected this digit then? We were thinking through whether that could be 6, weren't we? Which it might be able to be. Oh, I don't know. Let's look at the bottom row. 1, 2, 5 and 6. We can certainly get rid of... Right, that's 5 or 6. It can't be 2, and it definitely can't be 1 in the middle of a thermo. So there's a 5, 6 pair. This is a 1 or a 2. Okay, that's interesting for that digit. Because if that's a 2, that's a 1, and we've then used up 2 and 1 on thermos, and that's going to break this square. So that square's 5. That square's 2. This is a 1, 5 pair. This is not. This is something different. This is a 2, 8 pair. Oh, lovely. So 5 has now appeared on a thermo. So that digit is now a 6. It's not going to resolve this one, but it is a 6. That's a 6. That's a 5. 6 has come out of this square. So this is the 6 in box number 5. That's a 7. That's a 7. That's a 3. Here we go. This is 1. 2, 3 pair. That's annoying. Mouth, stop writing checks my brain can't cash. What? 5 can't go there. What's this column? Is it 1? No, it's not 1 and 3 that it needs. It's 1 and 7. Oh, where's 7 in column 5? Has that been available for ages? I don't know. I've only just seen it. This is not 7. Oh, 7's got to go there in this box now. That 6 is very useful. 6, 5. 1, 2, 5 and 8 for this square, which... Right, that's got to be 1, 2 or 5 then. So this must be 1, 2 or 5. That's weird. I thought that was definitely going to be resolved. These squares are... Oh, here we go. I've actually ended up in a fully pencil mark grid, which is not where I like to be. Right, okay, what have I not used here? I've not used the thermos. I've got 1s, 2s and 3s. That's right though, isn't it? Because I've got, so I know there's no 4, so I should have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, I do. I've got 2, 3 pairs here, but that's different clues. Oh dear, so it's going to be Sudoku now. There is going to be some little rinky-dinkage that we have to spot. And the rinky-dinkage we're going to spot is in the... Oh, I see it. I see it. Right. Right, this is absolutely beautiful. This is like the icing. This is like the icing on the chocolate cake, which was already delicious. Look. Those three squares are, remember that they can't repeat a digit, so they are a triple of 1, 2 and 3. So let's have a look at this little square, which we will award the great colour of purple, and ask whether it can be a 1, 2 or a 3. It can't be, because whatever you put into this square, if it was a 2 or a 3, it would be saying none of the bulbs can be 2 or 3, and one of them needs to be in order to make our thermos work. So that square is a 5. Pregnant pause. Well, that has that not done it either? That no. Okay, so I've now got a 2. Yes, that has done it, look, because now that's 1, that's 3, so that can't repeat the 3. That's 2, that's 3, that's 3, that's 2. This is 5. Oh, and because we've had 2 on a bulb, we can't have another 2 on a bulb, so that does those. That's now 2 in the corner. Okay, this does seem... I think it is going to work. 1, 5. Yes, it has worked. We finished, I think. Yes. Absolutely world class. 190 people. Oh, it's quite old, this puzzle. 23 days. It's been around for the best part of a month. And, well... Zetamath, again, I think I say this every time I do one of your puzzles, take a bow, because that is so ridiculously off the scale clever. And what's clever about it, well, there are many things that are clever about it, but one of the things that's clever about it is the opening sequence is so sublime. You can feel the way that the digits sort of click into place, and the way this line and this line are, they have different effects on the green lines they're next to. But but those different effects are sort of necessary to unlock the magic that can complete the puzzle. The fact that the fact that this one sees those 2 dominoes was absolutely pivotal. But then the way that worked was to... It's even as I think through it again now, it's so gorgeous that put 5 on that, and it's this circle having to be high is pivotal because it stops this having high numbers on it, and that not having high numbers on it then has this exquisite effect on this square by forcing it to be high, and that then unlocks another chain of deductions. It would be very hard, I think, to imagine a more perfect positioning of clues than these. Just take these out of the puzzle. If you could just if you make a tiny little video showcasing just this effect, it is quite gorgeous to me, at least. Love that. Let me know in the comments whether you had a go, and let me know if you found if you sort of jaw dropped at the same moments. Zetamath, fantastic. Loved it. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.